Hello Gemini friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Gemini June 2024 astrology horoscope forecast. It's Gemini season. The new moon, Jupiter, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus are all in your sign. It's a very exciting time and we're going to talk all about it. This is for you if Gemini is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Gemini placement you're listening for. What we're going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Gemini friend, so birthdays around June 15th through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Cancer report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. So what do we have going on here? This is your season to shine. This is the time where it's break time, it's relaxation time, it's time to be curious, where you have free flow. Jupiter moves in an upward spiral. It likes to get its fingers in a lot of pudding pies, very much like Sagittarius does, which I was Sag, so I get it. But also the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in your sign for the first time in 12 years. Yes, we talked about this last month, but we're going to be talking about it for a whole year because it's such a big deal. You can think back to 12 years ago and see how your life was expanded at that time. You know, something happened in your world. Many things might have happened in your world where things got bigger. Things could have gotten much better and things got expanded at bare minimum. And now not only do we have a long-term story from May 2024 through June 2025 of Jupiter in your sign, we also have all of this other support. The new moon on the 6th, on June 6th at 16 degrees of Gemini. All Geminis will get chances for, first of all, birthdays, birthday wishes. You get your new moon intentions and your new moon wishes in the days around the 6th. I will point out if you are a 16 degree or close to 16 degrees, we'll say 11 through 21 degrees. So like June 1st through June 11th or so, and the closer you are to around June 5th, you all will get some extra special kisses from that new moon in the days around the 6th. But don't worry if you're not in there. You won't be left out. And plus, we have all kinds of other goodies going on that make things open for everybody. We've got, while we're at it, let's just talk about, because everything in this report will be for all Geminis, but there are a couple of things that go on that highlight a different area. But for you all in that kind of center space, there's this extra energy about the new moon bringing something new, you know, extra oomph for your wishes. For you in the late degree realm, so those of you who are like the same people I said, you know, listen to the Cancer sign, like 21 or so degrees through the rest of the sign, or birthdays around, we'll say even June 12th through the rest of the sign. You all are getting extra special kisses from Mars in the first 8 to 9 days of the month. Mars is the bringer of oomph and obsession. And while all of you can get a boost from this Aries energy because it's in a nice angle for Gemini, those of you at the end will get an extra special touch in to make it more personal for your placements. And then the friends in the beginning, we definitely have a place that you're getting an extra thing too. So Mayborns, you're not being left out of this, but we're going to save that discussion for later. So I'm very jazzed up about this. First of all, because I'm a Sagittarius and I'm excitable by nature. Second of all, because I love talking about Jupiter. It's my ruling sign, and it's not just because it's my ruling sign. It's not really about me. What I like about Jupiter is that it's about expansion. It's about broadening horizons. It's about amplification. It's about adding to. It's about variety. And so when you have that in your sign for a whole year, and Venus and the Sun and Mercury and the new moon, it's just a time for curiosities to be satisfied, for exploration to happen, for discoveries to happen, for adventures to happen. It's a very fiery time. Because, especially for Gemini, because these planets move through the first house, which is the first fire house of the whole cycle. So the Aries house of the first house is where all of the Gemini planets congregate for Gemini. So you've got this fire element and the fire and the air coming together and it's just burning really bright. This is going to give you chances to redo your look, to get in touch with your health, to work out things with, you know, how you see yourself and how you put yourself out into the world. This can be amazing for your reputation. This can be completely expansive if you're trying to get your work out there or if you're trying to become known for something. You could have recently or in this month become, you know, famous for something or have people know you in your social circles. This is a highly, highly, highly social series of aspects. Gemini is one of the two social energies that relate to friends and friendships and interacting with people and chatting and communicating and sharing ideas prolifically. So you're probably going to get burned out. You're probably going to get exhausted. You're probably going to do too much because this spinning, it spins, it spins. Gemini knows this well, right? So if you are a Gemini, you know that you're over here, you're over there, you're over here, you're over there. And usually you're bringing something through completion. Sagittarius do the same thing. We have an upward cycle. So I get this. So you may put 2 dishes away, then fold 3 pieces of laundry. You know, God forbid you sit down and do any of those one things at once. Talk about like attention issues. I don't like to think of it as a tension issue. I like to think of it as being very much in the moment and enjoying variety in the moment, right? And so now you're excited about this. It's like a butterfly. Speaking of which, I just saw one. It's yellow with a coral, like coral on the bottom. Beautiful. So this is just kind of my reminder that this is butterfly energy, where you're looking for and finding nectar in all of these different places, and, you know, and you're busy driving, talking, interacting with people. You'll be traveling. You know, this is very exciting. The energy will shift as the month goes on, as we get into Cancer. We're not going to get into that yet, but this frenzy, this, you know, this just supercharged, exhilarating, almost too much, you know, burning the candle at both ends energy is just going to dominate. Not just you, but everybody. This is your time to shine. It's all about you. And, you know, it's all about how you are and how energy moves through you. And it's natural. It's speaking your language. And that's one of the fun things about having planets move through our sign, is that it speaks our language. We get it. It comes here and it says, Gemini, 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 and you're like, I get that, I get that. So you're going to have a lot of resonance with the things that are going on, and a lot of like-minded discussions and a lot of positive social interactions. You also still have a full 11th house, which is the other energy, Aquarius, because we have a lot of Aries energy still, and that's, you know, and that's bringing all of that to life. So networking, and, you know, it might not be time to try to stay small or try to stay hidden. It's not really, you know, if you have to take space and you have to have some quiet space, you have to retreat some, of course, you know, follow your intuition. But this is a very outward, bursting, exuberant energy. Now, as the month goes on, it is going to change into Cancer. Okay, a couple of things before we get there, though. When you make your birthday wishes, write them down, say them out loud, and feel them as if they've already come true. I have to spend just a couple of minutes on this because it's very, very, very important. It may seem like a digression, but it's not. It's directly along the lines of, this is your time to make wishes. And whether you're making new moon wishes, or whether you're making birthday wishes, or whether you're doing both, or whether it's your moon or your sun or your rising or whatever, this is a time for intentions. This is a time for, the universe is especially receptive to your wishes at this time because of all of this focus on the first house and all of this focus on your sign. So you want to make the most of it. And the way you can make the most of it is by activating your reticular activating system. I talk about this periodically, but I have to bring it back around again. One of the things that I like to do is to bring things in that people think are metaphysical and explain that they're really either physiological or scientific in some way, because that's where I've always kind of dwelled. I've been very hardcore into medical mainstream. You know, I've been in some sort of medical career for 30 years, and I'm still doing it. I'm still doing wellness. It's alternative now, you know, but this idea of integrating, truly integrating things is one of the things that I like to do. And as such, the idea of manifestation sometimes sounds to people like it's woo-woo, and it's not. This is something that we came here to co-create with the universe. Certain things we have no say in and we can't do anything about. We can only change our perspective and what we do with what comes to us. But certain things, there are tributaries of manifestation that we can put our attention into to change the quality of our experience. And one of the ways we can do that is by accessing our physiological reticular activating system. So let's say you need a car wash and you've never gone to a car wash before. I don't know, we'll just say you got a new car and now you want to do better with cleaning it. Well, maybe you haven't noticed where there are car washes. That's because the reticular activating system, its job is to filter things out, okay? So you don't get overwhelmed because there are so many more inputs than you can manage. So the reticular activating system, you know, filters things out. But when you work with your subconscious mind and you say, hey, I really want to find a new car wash, then it says, okay, car washes, we're going to let those through the filter. Then all of a sudden, You notice that there are car washes everywhere. If you're trying to buy a car, you're like, oh wow, why are there 16 car dealerships in this area? I never saw those before. You didn't see it until you started looking for it because your reticular activating system knew that you were intent on doing it, and it let down the filter for those things in. So it works this way also with intuitive information or things that are not quite explainable on the material plane. So if you make your wishes known to your subconscious mind, you write them down, you say them out loud, and you feel them as if they've already come true, your reticular activating system will help you find things that match that. It's like your subconscious mind is like a dog that wants to give you your paper or your slippers or anything that you're hoping for. And it's a faithful servant, but you feed in the information that you have. And one of the ways you do that is by feeling as if it's already come true. You know, you ever notice, like, if your mood turns, your dog is like sad? I know mine does. If anyone gets sad in the house, she slumps down, her ears go back, and she puts her head on that person. It's like, you know, they feel that mood, and your subconscious mind will match the things that you're putting in. So this is a really special time for you to use your one new moon in this 13 moon cycle, for you to use this plant, you know, the seed planting capacity of the new moon, the seed planting capacity of Jupiter for the whole year, the birthday time, the sun crossing over your ascendant. You know, you can input with doing these three things, writing them down, saying them out loud, and feeling them as if they already come true. Okay, so now that you're fully set to co-manifest with the universe and not just be in the passenger seat of your life, we can talk about more things. So when the Cancer energies start to roll in, things will change. They will ground out a bit, which is helpful because you will be spinning, and then this will get the emotions front and center. Family, household, housing, you know, that's all going to start to take center stage at the end of, you know, as June progresses and then into July. You may want to be more cozy at home. You may, you know, from spinning out for so much, you may just want to get grounded and have some close, intimate connections with people that feel like family or something like that. It becomes very much about emotions. Now, in general, the water scene doesn't blend as nicely with the fire, with the air scene as the fire does, which is what we've been talking about because it's been a firehouse. But, you know, that's just something to know going into it. So you're going to have to shift a little bit to let this type of information in. But it can be a really great time to connect with people, to have some really, you know, good emotional discussions. And there could be emotional things that come up from a challenging perspective, but there can also just be good, solid connecting going on. And specifically for Gemini, this lights up your house of money, so your finances. So you could be thinking about money, you could be plotting and planning, you could be, you know, making more money, because as the sun and then Venus and then Mercury move through there, Venus tends to bring, you know, a lot of good money related stuff. And when it goes into the house it rules, which is the second house, which will happen between June and July, then you can have that happen. Oh, by the way, before it gets there, as Venus is in Gemini, it's a really great time to be even more persuasive than usual. And we know that Gemini people ruled by Mercury tend to be the wordsmiths, unless you have Mercury retrograde at birth or some other conflict to your Mercury. Mercury, your Gemini people tend to be really good. You could even say sometimes wily if you're using it that way, or mischievous if you're using it that way, but definitely creative with words and very, you can impress people and you can get them to see things your way. Geminis are very good at that. Now with Venus there, you'll be even more persuasive. So if there's something that you need from someone else or someone that you're trying to impress, this month is full of opportunities for your extra juji to be supercharged. And if you need to take pictures for work or for home or just something you want to have for yourself, the camera will love you even more at this time. So you might be able to take some really wonderful family pictures or something for your professional developments where, you know, it could just work out really well. I wanted to mention that. Okay, so now back to the money stuff. So this could be a great time to have work on your budget or figure out ways you can earn more money or up your financial consciousness or something like that. Okay, so Mars is going to be rumping and bumping around through your 12th house. This can make you a little bit edgy. You may need to do things to manage your mind more than usual. If you're a Gemini that doesn't meditate, many Geminis tell me, meditate? What? Are you crazy? Right? Because you're all over the place. But that might mean that you need to meditate more. So even if it's 5 minutes of just breathing, connected breathing, Mars can help you to get that focus on that space. And talk about your subconscious mind. It can really help you to add more mastery into your emotional space and to your mental zone. So that's exciting. Okay, so we talked about the new moon. Let's talk about the full moon. The full moon is going to be in the days around June 21st. I do also put out new moon and full moon reports on my podcast and on YouTube. If you're not subscribed already on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. And if you are subscribed, click the bell, because if you don't click the bell, ding, then I won't go right into your feed and you'll miss things. And I've been posting more than ever, so you'll definitely not want to miss anything. But I will have reports, separate reports out about these new moons, this new moon and this full moon, but we'll touch a little bit on it here. So the full moon in the days around the 21st, the days leading up to it, the days after it, fullness, completion, fruition, drama sometimes. Fortunately, this isn't a very grounded earth sign. So sometimes when that happens, it can take a little bit of the edge off because it's very practical, and it's very grounding. But it can definitely bring to light something with your work, within your workspace, something that needs to be improved or something that you've been working on. You could get recognized. And as I talked about before, having all that energy in your first house can also help you get recognized and known for something. So the full moon is another touch point that can help that, to be acknowledged for something, even if it's not fame or general people knowing who you are, although it could manifest that way for sure. It could be something like someone that, you did something for just acknowledges, hey, that was nice of you, or hey, I see you, I see what you're doing. So that could be great. It could be great for work, employment, anything having to do with father figures or your place out in the world, whether that's paid or unpaid, a passion project or something like that. So you can do something very tangible on the days on the 21st to get it out in the world. So I'm going to give you a few dates if you have to manifest something or if you have to make a big decision. In general, May 14th through July 16th is our last big open period of the tides going out and it being a time to actively make your webs all over the place, because the second half of 2024 is going to be very covered in retrograde. I do have my retrograde planning calendar in my Secret Star portal. If you just search for Annie Botticelli Secret Star portal in any search, you'll find that and you can subscribe to that. And I do have where you can plan for the rest of the year, but I will give you a little bit of information now. The second half of the year is very much covered in retrograde, as is the beginning of 2025. So we're going to enter a time starting in the middle of July where we're just going to pop up for air a little bit from retrograde energy, but it's going to be very, very shrouded in retrograde energy after this point. So all of this lively, vibrant energy and Mars, being in Aries for a little longer than being in practical, disciplined Taurus. If you have things you've been wanting to do this year and you can expedite your timelines, you may be happy you did, because Mars will go retrograde at the end of the year with a long shadow period before, and it makes people lazy, or it makes them very intent on some certain thing to the exclusion of the other things that they may have to do. So you've got Mars in full support now. You've got Mercury in full support now. It just might be a really good time to get as much stuff done. Big trips, big decisions, big contracts, big projects, publishing, big launches, big employment moves, big decisions, big investments, anything like that, big purchases, devices, cars, homes, anything like that. You've got an amazing time from the middle of May into the middle of July. Now, within that time frame, there are certain days that have extra glory around them. One of them is May 23rd. I talked about this in the May reports, but I do post these early, so just in case you're watching this early, and if you're born around then, oh my gosh, because wow, as I was saying, early degree friends, you've got a lot of extra stuff going on too. We'll get into some more stuff specific to this month, but if you're an early, Taurus, Gemini cusp person, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, wow, there's so many awesome things going on in those days. So I'm really excited about that for you, because it gets woven into your birth chart for the year, basically your transit chart for the year based on your birthday. So that's really exciting. So the days are on the 23rd, have a lot of great, awesome time. June 2nd, we'll get into that with my favorite aspect of the month. And then this day, June 21st, that we're talking about for the full moon. These are some really good touch points. Also, June 4th, Mercury and Gemini come together. It's one of the luckiest days of the year. And that happens in Gemini. Whee! Okay, so we talked about that. Now, one more thing to know about the full moon in Cap is that it's in your 8th house. 8th house of secret, mysterious, ethereal, Scorpio type things. Other people's money, taxes, inheritances, spiritual studies, psychological studies, things like that. So fullness, completion, fruition, possibly drama coming in a close personal relationship, perhaps. This rules money and sex and power and, intimacy of every kind. So something coming to fruition or completion or being elucidated in that space. Okay, so now we can talk about the worst aspect of the month and my favorite aspect of the month. Okay, let's start with the bad one first. Look out in the days around June 11th. Okay, so if you know me, you know that I'm an optimist, but if there's a nasty aspect, I will tell you that it's nasty. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'll say it's nasty, and this one is. I will, however, always try to reframe and say, what can we do with it that's positive? It's not taking the nastiness out of it, okay? It's not good. But it is giving you some power of what you can use it to focus on that can benefit you and helping you understand it and the timeline beforehand so that when it's going on, you're not blindsided and that you can actively use the energy. So June 11th, I'm giving it a 1-week window, June 4th through June 18th. The closer to the 11th, the more intense. You could see manifestations before and after that window, but this is the biggest time, a 2-week window. Mars, the god of war, squaring in Taurus, squaring Pluto, the god of death, yuck. Blow-ups, exaggerated dangerous responses, violence, power struggles, you name it. Anything is possible here. During these transits, I always suggest getting to a safe space. I suggest getting to a safe space anyway if you're not in one, but things will be extra volatile. So if your surroundings are volatile, you may want to try to find a rock to hide under or get to a safe space or let this be the impetus before this happens to get yourself into a safe space. If you are in a normal situation and it's not an unsafe situation, things can become unsafe pretty quickly. Don't go down the alley if you get an intuition not to, even if you have an appointment there. Don't go in the car with that person if you get a bad vibe about it. Don't walk under the thing where somebody's working or whatever. You really have to stay in tune, and the more distractions you have, which there will be plenty because Gemini is very distracted, right? And there will be a lot of over here, I'm over here, I'm over here. But try as much to stay present, especially through this time, so that you can have your wits about you. This can be a fantastic time to safely delve into trauma or anger or repressed feelings, because if you work with a qualified practitioner who can help you to safely navigate through anything that comes up, then you can use this sort of nasty, dark energy to excavate something that can make you become a happier person, that can make you become, a lighter person. And that's what this energy is all about. It's really about break time and fun time and exploration time, and then there's this aspect in the middle of it that's kind of saying, okay, let's have fun, and then when this comes up, let's clear it out so we can have more fun, basically, because it's not fun to carry around these heavy things. So you can do that. Okay, so my favorite aspect of the month, and there are actually quite a few. Like I said, June 4th, we've got one of the luckiest days of the year. Mercury in Gemini conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. What? Amazing. We also have Mercury in Gemini trine Pluto in Aquarius on June 3rd and 4th. Amazing. And on June 2nd, we've got a big aspect that's very long in its expression. Jupiter in Gemini trine Pluto in Aquarius. Outer planets, they take longer to move, so they're locked in a configuration, for better or worse, for longer. This is for better, so yay. May 19th-ish through June 20th, you could feel it before and after those dates, but I'm giving the dates for the strongest manifestations. And then, of course, getting closer to June 2nd. Just think of Jupiter being the sage on the mountain looking at everything. So breadth, width of view. Pluto is depth. So you've got the ultimate depth and the ultimate width. So any project that you put forth, the second, the third, the fourth, you have all these beautiful aspects that can launch them even further while the tides are going out. It's just a magical day for doing anything important. It's also great for overhauling outdated structures within yourself, for enhancing communication, because after all, this is in Gemini. And this is one of the big things that I told you before that early degree friends have going for you. And at the end of May, you've got all those aspects going for you, early degree friends. So that's basically May born. But this aspect of Jupiter with Pluto and the aspects with really all of the Jupiter aspects early in the month, all of the people in the zodiac can get amazing things from this. All of the people in Gemini zone can get extra special blessings from this. And then narrow it down even further, if you're a May born, May 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, like in there, you're getting the extra kisses from this big aspect and all of the smaller ones too. So it's really exciting. It's a very, very, very exciting time for Geminis. We've covered a lot about what's going on right now and in the upcoming times astrologically, but if you want even more free stuff from me, go to anniehelpsyou.com. That is my interface for all of my free goodies. And if you want to learn astrology, click on the up level button and you can find my astrology certification course. Even if you want to learn for your own personal purposes or to help your family and friends, I can help you to do that. If you want to earn money as an astrologer, I can help you to do that. Of course, like any other education, what you do with what I teach you is up to you, but I've had many people start earning money for doing astrology within even months of doing this course. And it's very rare that you can get trained in a vocation that literally you can pay your tuition off in 12 hours of work once you're trained. So it's a really, really wonderful course and it just keeps growing. It has over 100 modules. It's very, very comprehensive and you get lifetime access. If you want to access my secret star portal, you can click on the upgrade button at anniehelpsyou.com. You'll get all of my content very early. Plus you'll get my written horoscopes early, plus a lot of other info. And if you haven't joined my free VIP community, you can click on the Unleash, or you can just put your name and email address there at anniehelpsyou.com. And you can sign up and get my sweet and salty dates right up 1 month early with lots of transits and other things for you to know. You can get my free goodies, a relax, unwind, and let go subliminal to help you stay calm during tough astrological transits. You can get my 28-day virtual coaching program for free. And I've also made a player page at anniehelpsyou.com/astrology, where you can see all of my podcasts and the playlists and my YouTube playlist all in one place that's constantly updated. If there is something that's time-stamped, the timestamp will be somewhere around. In eclipse seasons, you can click on the eclipse playlist and it will be always updated for which videos for you to watch to get you up to speed on how the eclipses may affect you, or just to understand what's going on even when we're out of eclipse season. So you can go to anniehelpsyou.com/astrology for one easy location for all of my content. I hope you have a wonderful time until I am with you again. Bye. Oh, and one last thing. If you're subscribed on YouTube, make sure you click the bell and subscribe to whatever podcast report, because I do post fairly regularly, and I've been told that if you subscribe on YouTube and you do not click the bell, you won't get my notifications and my very frequent posts. So make sure if you're subscribed, click the bell. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, like, share, all of that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.